while the kids are playing, I'm going to attempt to film this. By the title of the video, you kind of already know what this is about. Whether you are my friends or family members and you just want to watch this, or you looked up this video because you're going through the same thing as me, which is a miscarriage. For those of you who have never been in this position, or you've never been pregnant, I don't know what your situation is, but you might be like, well, how are you like this upset about it? You were only about 7 weeks. But if you've been in this position before, you understand like that moment you see that pregnancy test, especially with me, with my mindset of seeing my 2 healthy pregnancies and not having any complications or problems like this. You don't really expect it to end like that. You just expect another addition to your family. We already had this idea. We were throwing out names, already thinking, are we going to keep the gender a secret this time? You know, Mila already knew, was already calling the baby sister. She would kiss my belly. So all of that just, and I knew for like 3 weeks. So it kind of just made it more, we were already attached at that point, you know. I mean, I've known people who have had miscarriages and only knew they were pregnant for a couple days and it still hurt them. I think miscarriage hurts at any point in time. Stillbirth, I mean, that's even harder. I couldn't imagine delivering a baby that's passed away. I couldn't imagine going even farther in my pregnancy and miscarrying. It's just, I think this is loss of a child at any stage is just hard. I definitely think I got the easier end of the stick, but I'm one of those that gets attached very easily. I get excited really quickly. I mean, now we really know that we do truly want a third after this, because we were kind of teeter-tottering on the idea of a third, and now we kind of have that missing piece. If you don't know me, I have 2 beautiful, healthy kids. Mila, she's 3, and Ezra is almost 11 months old. He'll be 11 months old in like a week. But I wanted to film this. It feels good to kind of get it off my chest, like how I really feel, because I've explained to doctors, and I've seen so many doctors now, because they don't really tell you when you have a miscarriage, like how many doctors you go see, how many times you go get your blood drawn, and come in for ultrasounds to kind of check up on everything. And you just kind of tell them the facts, and you don't really get to say how you truly feel. I mean, I'm really lucky because I have an amazing OB. He is literally like so genuine, but I like have a hard time opening up to him. I have a hard time opening up to everybody. I mean, I even kind of, with Michael, I'm probably the only person, he's probably the only person that I'm most open with about how I'm feeling about this. But I think this whole thing has shocked me just because I've had 2 healthy pregnancies. I've never had a miscarriage before. I want to say I had a chemical pregnancy like before Ezra, but I'm not like 100% sure, just because, I mean, you can't really get a false positive. I had a very faint positive on a test, and then I had my period the next day. So I was like, I didn't even know what it was. I was like, am I seeing something? Am I not? And then I had my period the next day, and I was only like a day late or 2 days late. So that didn't really even count to me, because I don't know if I was or not. This time around, I've already tested. I took my blood test. I'm pregnant. I'm still getting, my levels are still showing I'm still pregnant right now, even though I know for a fact that the baby's already gone. So let me just back up here. Let me start. So I'm all over the place. That's why I kind of wanted to record now. If I tried recording this video while I was still hysterical, I don't even know if you'd be able to understand a word I said. So I kind of want to go back through the timeline of this whole thing. So I'm breastfeeding Ezra still. He's 10 months old. So I'm still breastfeeding him. And so my periods are very irregular, which is not normal for me. Ever since I started my periods as a kid, they're always every month on time, regular. I have an app, track them. They're always regular. With breastfeeding, I guess you could say they're regular, but they're every 2 weeks. I have a period. I know. It's insane. So I was able to track them that way. I'm like, okay, every 2 weeks it would come, and it was like clockwork. And all of a sudden I was looking at my app and I was like, it's been a couple days. I should be getting a period soon. It didn't come. Waited a couple more days because I was like, well, Ezra's not breastfeeding as much. Maybe my body's kind of, I had like some food aversions, and I was like, that kind of smells funky. And I started getting kind of like nauseous, and I was like, maybe I'm like getting too overweight, or maybe, I don't know. I was trying to like come up with every excuse because I did not think that I was pregnant. I had no inkling of that. A week goes by, still no period, and I started kind of, my mother-in-law was joking like, oh, I feel like you're kind of pregnant. And I was like, there's no way. It's just probably my body's being weird. I was trying to get a test from the store without like telling Michael, because I was like, if I am pregnant, I kind of want to, you know, surprise him. Well, I had an excuse to go to the store by myself. I got a test, came back home, I tested. I couldn't even tell you when I tested. I want to say it was probably like a week before Christmas. I tested, and it was positive, and right then and there I was like, I'm pregnant, we're gonna have another baby, here we go. No inkling in my mind did I had none about, oh, this is gonna end in a miscarriage, because I'd never had one. I thought once you have a couple healthy pregnancies, like your chances of a miscarriage are pretty low. Okay, so Ezra is ready for the boob, so I have to move the camera closer while he breastfeeds. He might, he kind of wants to poke in. We're both wearing green, I didn't even realize that. So it was about a week before Christmas that I tested positive, and I was like thinking I was pregnant. I didn't think I was gonna lose the baby. So at that point I was getting excited. Right away, I told Michael. I can't keep a secret for the life of me. Especially not to Michael. So I was sitting there, I was like, oh my gosh. So I couldn't keep a straight face, so I told him. You'll see if you watch that video of how I found out I was pregnant, and I told him, it's all in there. I told him right away, and we started getting, I mean, at first he was like, oh my gosh, another kid, Ezra's still little. And then we're like, it settled in, and we're like, okay, we're doing this, we're gonna have another baby. We start thinking about how we're gonna tell all of our close family. I kind of already had an idea of how I was gonna announce we were pregnant to, you know, everybody. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I had to go entertain the kids with some snacks. So we already had everything kind of planned out at that time, and I wanted to wait till Christmas to announce we were pregnant because I thought that'd be a cute announcement. So at this time, I already had known for a fact I was pregnant for that whole week. I already had missed my period by like 2 weeks, so we're about 3 weeks in of me sort of knowing, and then finally knowing. And then on Christmas, we announce we're pregnant. Everybody's excited. We're getting more excited. Michael tells his coworkers. We tell like everybody at that point knows that we're pregnant, and we're really excited. I've already made an OB appointment. Let's see, today is the 6th, so I want to say it was today Wednesday. I really don't even know. What's today? Wednesday. So on Sunday during the day in the morning, went to Walmart. I went in by myself. The kids and Michael were in the car hanging out, just so they could get out of the house but not go in the store. And I was pushing the cart down the aisle, and I think I bent over to grab something, put it in the cart, and I kind of had this like cramp on my left side, and I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. But you know, if you've ever been pregnant, you get these kind of cramps on your sides, and it's like, they say it's like ligaments stretching and pulling. I get like ligament pains when you twist because everything's just growing. So it's like, okay, it was probably just like a little pull, or just a slight cramp, like that's normal. Went on about my business, did everything else during the day, and then that night, on Sunday, I went to the bathroom. I had gone pee, and I wiped, and I noticed, this is a lot of TMI, so exit now if you don't want to listen to this, but like light pink spotting, and I was like, okay. I was like, Michael, that's kind of weird, right? And it's like, but I looked it up. I guess it's normal. I've never spotted with my other pregnancies, so to me, it was like kind of like weird. And then I go on about my business again during the night, and just hanging out, watching TV, and then I sitting on the couch, and I'm like getting some kind of like period type cramps, and I was like, I'm not feeling right, Michael. And he's like, well, you're gonna see your OB soon, and you can ask all these questions, or he's like, if you feel like really weird, we can go see the doctor. You can call in the morning. Went to the bathroom, and Michael was watching TV, and I was in the back room going pee in our bathroom, and I wipe, and I'm just sitting there, and my hands are just shaking, and I see I wiped, and it was just red blood all on the toilet paper, and I didn't at that point know what to do. I was just like, Michael, like yelling until he finally was like, what? And came in. I was like shaking. I didn't even, like, I was still holding on to the toilet paper. It freaked me out because at that point I knew that something was wrong, because spotting, okay, but bright red, full to the on the toilet paper, that I knew was not a good sign. I started freaking out and panicking, and it was late at night, and so I didn't get any good sleep that night. So Monday morning we wake up, I'm still bleeding really heavy. We decide it's best to go to the hospital. So we gather our things. Michael's mom comes over so she can watch the kids, and I'm just hysterical at that point, and it's kind of a blur. It was just kind of a blur getting to the hospital. I remember just being like thinking a million different questions at once, and just the not knowing. The not knowing was the scariest part, like what was going on with my body, what was going on with the baby, is everything gonna be okay? You just have all these questions, and not knowing just really is the scariest part. So we get to the hospital, and they check us in. At first, I was the only one allowed in there, but the nurses were really kind because they could see how emotional I was, and they let Michael come in with me. So they did my blood test. That came back, I was at a 25, and if you have ever had your, I think it's HCG levels, I think that's what they're called. I had them done with Ezra, and this time I had them done, they did them, and they were 25. And if you've ever had them done, you would know that that's super low. That would put me at between 3 to 4 weeks pregnant. Now at this point, I would have been close to 7 weeks pregnant. I never knew how far along I was. I still don't know, just because I miscarried before I had an ultrasound, so they couldn't even measure the baby. The baby was already miscarried before they could even measure me, so we're kind of going based off my last period, but I don't even know when I ovulated, so we're just saying I was about 7 weeks pregnant. So that puts me super low, so that obviously means that it's a miscarriage. Okay, so I had to put Ezra to bed, but I think I left off at, they did an ultrasound, and I was laying back on the table, and the screen was turned away from me, so I couldn't see the ultrasound, and I couldn't hear anything. I was just laying there thinking, wow, this is not how I wanted our first ultrasound for this baby to go. When she was like, I can't really give you any information. The doctor will come back in and tell you what happened. So I was like, okay. So we had to wait a while, and he said that she didn't see anything on the ultrasound. They couldn't find a baby. There was no heartbeat, nothing. So they assumed that I already miscarried the baby. They had told me to go see my doctor and get my blood redrawn to make sure that I'm not just early on. So they labeled it as a threatened miscarriage at that point. And so on Tuesday I went to my doctor's. He ordered me to get my blood drawn. Haven't got the results back, so I will record and tell you the results from that. But he talked to me basically and said that I could have an ectopic pregnancy. I can never say that. I'm having a miscarriage and it's already miscarried the baby, and this is just the end part of it, or I have a happy, healthy baby, but I'm just too early on for it to be, and I'm just having heavy bleeding or whatever. Tomorrow my doctor will call me and update me on my hormone levels, so I will see you guys then. Yeah. Hi, I was wondering if I could get my lab results today.
Okay, can I have your name?
Brielle Montoya.
Okay, hold for me 1 moment.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Brielle.
Hi.
So are you calling from your lab results?
Yes.
So you did the test this morning, and it came back, your HCG level came back at 3.7.
3.7?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just above negative.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. I don't really know what to think or to say. I don't even know why I was clinging to the last bit of hope that I was still pregnant and that this was just a weird bleeding thing. And if you're going through this, I'm sorry, and know that you're definitely not alone. And that's why I like to share my stories, is because I know I'm not the only one out there going through what I'm going through. I like to share motherhood because I'm not the only mother out there, and I know it's tough when it's tough, and it's amazing when it's amazing, and it's fun to be able to share experiences like that. And I feel like miscarriages are not really shared a lot, especially when you're early on. You don't feel like you have that right, but you should just feel like you're not alone, because a lot of women go through this. And whether this is your first child or your 5th child, I'm very sorry. It hurts no matter what child it is. And I just have a lot of love and respect for you if you've gone through this, because it's hard. If you're going through something similar, and if you're not, just thank you for watching and listening. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, whatever video it is. I don't know what the next video will be, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.
If it's love that you need, you